Every year, researchers make fascinating discoveries. From medieval soldiers to ancient indestructible, microscopic creatures, we'll be taking a look at these 3 interesting discoveries. Medieval soldier found at the bottom of a Lithuanian lake. In Lithuania, more than 5 centuries have passed since a medieval soldier's body found its way to the bottom of Lake Asphasia. This discovery has been the first medieval soldier ever discovered in Lithuania, and it's likely the result of a battle rather than a burial. These remains, however, were found completely by accident. They were found during a routine safety inspection of the nearby bridge. The bridge was constructed during the 1930s, and as a result of many years of wear, the bridge's beams have been gradually falling victim to damage. The last thing the amateur divers expected to find during the inspection of the bridge was a 500-year-old remains of a medieval soldier. Many years of built-up sediment is the reason the remains had not been found sooner. It acted as a blanket over anything that lay at the bottom of the lake, and it just so happened to be hiding one of the biggest medieval discoveries in Lithuania. The soldier has been confirmed to have been male and died sometime during the 16th century. We can learn more about this person and what his life was like from the artifacts that were found in the body's vicinity. There was a leather belt, an iron sword, and a complete pair of leather boots with spurs. Also, some miscellaneous leather items were also found along with other artifacts. These artifacts, along with the skeleton, were astonishingly well preserved due to, as mentioned previously, the layer of sediment covering the remains, as a result, preserving the body over the years. This discovery was made within the last year, so a lot of details are still unknown. Archaeologists and scientists say that they're still examining everything. However, the artifacts found with the skeleton suggest that the male was of military status, given the number of weapons he had with him. Also, the researchers have theorized he likely died in some sort of combat. Due to the location of the lake and the old bridge, there's been theories that he could have been a guard to one of the old castles at the time. The lake was a central point in medieval Lithuania, with the old bridge being a focal point of the time. While this is the first time medieval remains have been found in the lake, it's not the only interesting discovery the lake has been hiding. Parts and pieces of old boats and even portions of the medieval bridge have been discovered, but nothing as interesting as a full soldier. Tardigrade found in Antarctica. SALSA, or the Subglacial Antarctic Lakes Scientific Access Project, which involves the study of subglacial Antarctic lakes, discovered something interesting early 2019. David Harwood, a micropaleontologist, described the discovery as completely unexpected. A subglacial lake is a lake that's found underneath a glacier. They're formed when ice meets bedrock, where gravitational pressure decreases the pressure melting point of ice, and thus the lake is formed. After drilling down into the ice and reaching around 1 kilometer into Lake Mercer, the team discovered some mud on a retrieved sensor. To most people, you would probably wipe off the mud, but the scientists decided to run some tests. After a brief look at the mud under a microscope, David Harwood noticed some crustacean remains that were quite well preserved. Intrigued, Harwood cleaned the sensor off and sent it down to retrieve more mud. This time they'd discovered various organisms, including crustaceans and worm-like creatures. These samples were then sent to an animal ecologist named Byron Adams. He found a creature there by the name of Tardigrade. These creatures have interested scientists, but this is due to them being almost indestructible. This tiny organism can survive in ridiculously high and low temperatures, from minus 273 degrees centigrade to 150 degrees centigrade. They've been subjected to high amounts of radiation, but even this doesn't cause any damage to these incredibly tough creatures. Scientists have even said they have the ability to be brought back to life. Previously not found in this location, how would these tardigrades have ended up in a subglacial Antarctic lake? Well, theory suggests that thousands of years ago, the ice surrounding the lake became thinner, and this would have allowed outside water containing these creatures to seep into this lake. Fossils of tardigrades have been dated back to the Cambrian period, 500 million years ago, making them one of Earth's most ancient creatures. 118-year-old shipwreck in Lake Superior. Over 100 years ago, a freight ship, known as the Hudson, sank off northern Michigan. Unfortunately caught up in a deadly storm, the ship sank, and all 24 crew members died in Lake Superior. 118 years passed, and no one knew the fate of the ship. This was until Craig Smith and Jerry Eliasson, two shipwreck hunters, decided that they were going to find the sunken freighter. Shipwreck hunters are often known as treasure hunters. Craig and Jerry, however, were not really in it for the so-called treasure hunting, but rather for the love and enjoyment of finding shipwrecks, and the thrill of solving the mystery behind them. So once the pair had decided they were going to go after the Hudson, they needed to design and build a custom sonar system. The system would need to withstand the pressure of the lake. The optimistic duo managed to, with the help of their custom-built equipment, narrow the area of their search to just over 30 square miles. Initially, after first discovering a wreck, they didn't actually know if it had been the Hudson until they got back to shore and viewed their findings. Now located, the duo were happy, not only that they'd managed to find the century-old shipwreck, but that because the location of it was miles offshore, it remained practically untouched, and the hull of the ship was completely intact. The one negative of this discovery: the Hudson wreck is unfortunately too deep for divers to properly explore, sitting at its highest point around 6 meters from the bottom of Lake Superior. It's one of the deepest wrecks found in the Great Lakes. Hopefully, in the coming years, divers will manage to get down to the wreck to give us more information on the Hudson and its crew. So what do you make of these 3 discoveries from around the world? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community whilst working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.